We're about 30 yards of tape a game, right, with the various and sundry injuries. How you feeling?
I feel good.
Did you get hurt again?
No, not really.
Oh, really? You came through it okay?
He's a little sore, so is Art, I'm sure.
Art Bortnick, who is a 5-year senior from Euclid, Ohio, offensive tackle, and of course you guys have really played well under Coach Don Boyce this year. You're to be congratulated. I thought Saturday that offensive line really opened up some holes that I possibly myself could have gotten through.
And wait a minute.
Well, yeah, I'm exaggerating. Okay. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. It was a rainy day. Do you think the rain, did you feel before the game, would be a factor?
Not really, because it kind of settled down. It wasn't hard enough to really get the turf that slick. And so we really wasn't a factor. Matter of fact, if we would have won the toss, we would have kicked off, but we didn't. They won the toss and elected to receive.
Crowd of 37,031. Panthers losing the toss. West Virginia wants the football, so they get it right away, thanks to the great leg of David Trout. And you can see the Panthers pretty well fired up for this contest, as were the Mountaineers. It's always a spirited rivalry, and we'll see some of the action that leads to over 200 yards and penalties for both teams. Panthers, however, got their lion's share. This is David Trout, the freshman from Southmoreland High School.
He is really something, Bill. He's worth his weight in gold, I tell you that. The young man is kicking off is very devastating.
This sets the tone for the kicking game for the Panthers. It's 5 yards deep, down by Robert Alexander. So West Virginia has it on their own 20-yard line. We pick it up on their own 37. This is Alexander looking for, Kendra looking for Alexander. That pass right there makes Kendra the all-time West Virginia passing leader.
Right. Kendra played very well. He's a very good football player. They sent motion across the backfield all day. Here's Hugh Green with a big important sack, and there's Jeff Pelusi. They sent motion all the way across the backfield every play, and of course they were trying to flood us on the backside, which they did the first play.
We get a repeat. This is 3rd and 7. Now West Virginia driving at the Pitt 15, but a big sack for number 99, Hugh Green. And it puts them back far enough that they've got to decide to go for a field goal on 4th and 28, which they do. And Bill McKenzie, who beat the Panthers a couple of years ago with a last-second field goal, puts it through the uprights, the 45-yarder, as West Virginia on the board drawing first blood 3-0. And it looked like the Panthers might be in some trouble early first quarter.
The first drive, we had them, there's 4th and 7, and we have a penalty, 3rd and 7, we have a penalty of fouling on, which gave them the first down and kept the drive moving.
Kickoff return man for the Panthers is junior All-American Gordon Too Much Jones.
I thought we was going to break this one in, from the sideline. It looked like we had some daylight in there, and people from the backside came across and made the play on Gordon.
However, the Panthers are not able to move the football, and after a Joe Gasparovic punt of 52 yards, West Virginia 1st and 10 at the Mountaineer 28. That's number 70, Randy Holloway.
Excellent play by Randy. Stepped in the blocker, making the play on Robert Alexander.
1-yard gain. Now we watch Dan Kendra back to pass, and he's looking for Cedric Thomas, his split receiver. However, Bob Jury has other ideas.
It's a very good play by Bob. Bob overlapped the boundary and took the ball, and I wish he would have scored there.
Good block by Leroy Felder, but Pridemore brings him down on about the 5-yard line, so we pick it up with the Panthers trying to take it in.
There's the option play to Freddie, and Freddie scores. Excellent block by the inside. Bortnick and Bowie blocked the inside, and Gallstead blocked the inside pursuit, and Elliott Walker blocked the corner.
We get another look at it here. Fast Freddie Jacobs as the offensive lineman move people out. Nice little move at the goal line. Elliott Walker's good block, and the 4-yard touchdown puts the Panthers ahead. Of course, ahead to stay, but you don't know it at this point. With Schubert's extra point, the hold by Tommy Usyk and the snap by Walter Brown III, the Panthers make it 7-3. First quarter action, 37,000 plus. That's capacity plus at Mountaineer Field.
Yes, I think it's 33,000, 34,000.
I think 34 is what they list. But it was jammed, and the crowd is very vocal and intimidating, and if you allow it to get to you, you can be in trouble.
Counter option to Freddie. There's Gordon Jones blocking at the corner.
Freddie Jacobs, second quarter action now. Pick up at 7 yards. Now we watch Kavanaugh to Steve Gaustad.
Excellent play by Steve.
Steve made 7 catches on Saturday for 88 yards, including 1 touchdown.
Tell you what, you can see the ones coming up shortly. He made some outstanding catches.
Jim Bowie, would you rather pass block or drive block? You favor the running game or the passing game as an offensive lineman?
Willie Taylor on a comeback.
I'd say I favor the running game.
You'd rather drive people out than stand there and take a punishment. How about you, Art Bortnick?
I agree with Jim.
Better to hit than to receive, I guess.
There's a screen pass to Elliott Walker and his Bowie and Bortnick out there. Gordon Jones makes a block.
9-yard pickup for the Panthers. Elliott picking up 4 receptions on Saturday, and I believe for him that's a career personal high.
Come back with screen again. There's Bowie, George Link, Berzosa.
12 yards this time. Now remember, Pitt has a 1st and 38 now and is trying to overcome that problem. We pick it up 3rd and 18, getting 15 yards of it. And this sets up an all-important 4th down.
Very excellent
Steve Gosted with a great grab. You'll watch it from the upstairs angle. Number 82, the junior from New Cumberland, Pennsylvania. What a tight end he has turned out to be.
He certainly has, Bill. He's really improves each week. Excellent reception record.
Tell me, you offensive linemen consider Gosted part of the offensive line? Is he welcome to join your new club that I understand is making big gains right now?
Very much
It's
so.
the Fraternal Order of Offensive Linemen. Fools, right?
Excellent play.
I understand there is such an organization, and Harry Hanna of the Black Angus is the guy who's kind of in charge of the thing, but the president is John Pelusi, former Panther.
There's a dive by Freddie Jacobs.
Past Freddie from Cincinnati.
Come down and throwing the ball, and this is Gosted, another reception.
8-yard gain for the Panthers. Pitt has a 1st and 10 now at the West Virginia 13. Watch Jacobs do a good job here.
Good play by Freddie.
Good blocking. George Link just driving people out of there.
Excellent play.
Freddie right behind him. Riding his coattails, as it were, for an 8-yard gain. And now we pick it up. Pitt with a 3rd and 1 at the West Virginia 4. Number 12 is Matt Cavanaugh.
There's a good block by the lineman, and Freddie Jacobs makes a block on the defensive end.
And he kind of hops into the end zone. We'll see it from the upstairs angle now. You see the blocking on this play. Link is number 66, Carroll number 77, down at the goal line, Gosted. And it clears the way for Matt to score from 4 yards away. And the Panthers now with the extra point go ahead of West Virginia, 14-3. We're still in early 2nd quarter action.
Benji Pryor.
Benji Pryor, the freshman from Valley. Any injuries on Saturday, Jackie Sherman?
No, just some bumps and bruises, no injuries. And I'm very, very pleased with that.
Pick it up now, West Virginia. 2nd and 5 at their own 22. Not much running room there, thanks to people like Pelusi and Holloway, and he was on the bottom there.
That was Meisner.
Jerry Boyarsky at middle guard played a fine game for the Panthers, too, the freshman from Scott, Pennsylvania. Kendra in his own end zone, trapped. Hit as he releases a football to Duck Riley on the pass play. This is the play on which Kendra is injured. And, of course, West Virginia has its hopes dashed because of Kendra's passing abilities. They had to go to a guy with less of a passing reputation, and as a result, it really hurt the Mountaineer offensive attack. Now we watch Mountaineers punting from their own end zone. It's Kenny Hatton.
I'll tell you what, this guy back here scares anybody.
Gordon Jones gets the block here from, I believe, JC. Was Mike Balzer blocking on that play?
Yes,
too?
he
I think
was.
He was. And Singletary tackles him, and the Panthers with great field position now. Pick it up 1st and 10 at the 1st and 18 at the West Virginia 42 after a penalty. What a catch by Gordon Jones.
They were playing roll coverage, and we just went ahead and hit the boundary seam on them. And
Panthers cannot take it in, so Mark Schubert, the sophomore from Springdale, tries the 36-yard field goal. It's good, and the Panthers now lead it 17-3. Still late 2nd quarter action. Kickoff to Robert Alexander, number 31, who is the much heralded freshman from South Charleston, West Virginia. Picks up the muff kickoff and gets tackled.
Mark Reichert.
I think he fumbled it again. Alexander going to his right.
There's Jeff Delaney.
1 yard loss.
Chesley.
The Panthers string it out defensively as well as anybody I have seen, that's for sure.
When they started Riley and Alexander, we knew they'd probably go outside. Use an option game outside, and of course that was to our advantage, running through our speed.
Panthers at halftime lead at 17-3. Jackie Sherrill, I don't think you were very pleased with all the penalties that the Panthers were piling up, and I guess you kind of figured maybe perhaps things weren't being seen fairly at this point in the football game.
Well, you know, I'd have to really look at the films, go back and understand that, but
you did have a conference with one of the officials at halftime.
But, you know, I was very upset because you're making so many penalties, and he's taking you in bad position. He's taking you out of the game. He's letting him sustain a drive or something, and you just can't have penalties like this to keep a team in the game, and you can't have penalties that could keep you down. And I think if we hadn't had those penalties in the first half, the first half, we could have done some other things and put some more points on the board.
So the Panthers lead 17-3 over West Virginia at halftime. We'll be back with offensive lineman Jim Bowie and Art Bortnick right after these messages.
Dribbling more.
Practices go quicker.
Yeah, everything goes better.
You can take more yelling from your coach.
Oh, yeah, because there's a purpose behind everything.
Tell me, does Don Boyce remind you of a Marine drill sergeant?
And more.
And more.
And more.
Well, Art Bortnick, you now weigh 225 pounds, and I remember not too long ago you weighed close to 250. What's the reason for the weight loss?
Coach Boyce works us pretty hard, and you know, if you go hard a lot,